live. What's up, guys? My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living here in Accra, Ghana, and we're live again. Let's give it some time for people to get on, get ready to get on and ask some questions. I'm just getting the dings right now on all my other phones that we are live. So let's give it a second for everyone to join. In the meantime, let's just start right off with talking about what we're going to talk about today. So while we wait for everybody to join, let me give you a little bit of an update. I'm going to do some COVID-19 updates, just what the numbers look like, what that means for people in Sierra Leone or Ghana or traveling to Sierra Leone. There's some interesting updates that are coming there. And the reason why that's important for me in particular is because I was planning to go to Sierra Leone within the next few weeks. But I may have to postpone that trip to Sierra Leone right now based on some of the information I'm getting. So we'll talk a little bit about the updated numbers here in Ghana, the recovery numbers, all of that. And then we'll also talk about the numbers in Sierra Leone as well. And then I'll get into what we do weekly is the Ask Me Anything. So I do this weeklies every Tuesday, 9 p.m. GMT. I guess that's 5 p.m. as of right now, 5 p.m. EST, which makes it 2 p.m. PST. And I'm going to ask, when the group joins and it's a larger group, I am going to ask what day I should move this to. I am planning to move this to either Monday or Wednesday. So I'll make that request. I'll ask you guys what you think at that point in time. All right. So for those of you who are in the room now, can you let me know if you can hear me? I know there's a couple people on now. Let me know if you can hear me, if everything seems good. It looks like my connection is clear. I just need to make sure that you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let's see, can you guys hear me? I'm going to write in the chat a quick question for you guys, just to make sure that everyone can hear me. So everybody who's watching from everywhere, let me know if you can hear. Just give me a thumbs up quick, or just let me know that you can hear me so that I know that you guys can hear me. There's still more people coming on. So a couple new people just jumped on. All right, cool. A couple of thumbs up. Great. So actually, it's a longer than 10-second delay. I was told by this system that it takes 10 seconds for people to hear, but it looks like it's longer than a 10-second delay. All right, cool. So now that we got a few more people on, I'm going to reiterate what we're going to be talking about today. Just going to talk about the COVID numbers and what that means, at least the numbers as reported to the WHO. I know a lot of different people are on a lot of different areas of the spectrum as it pertains to whether or not they believe in COVID numbers and inflation and deflation of numbers, depending on different people's reasoning. I'm just going to say, based on the WHO and based on the travel restrictions that are out there, I just wanted to give you guys all an update. And this is really more for my Sierra Leonean people, because I do have a couple of friends flying in and out of the country. And I was planning to travel to Sierra Leone. I was actually trying to go within the next few weeks. And I'm just going to be watching these things closely to make sure. But first of all, welcome to Cedric and Broderick and Ms. P. I think the three of you have been on at least 2 or 3 of the last 5 lives that I've done. So appreciate you guys coming back. And then everybody else who's watching, thanks for stopping by. So I'm going to go through some of the COVID numbers and restrictions and things like that I've seen. And then we'll go into the Ask Me Anything. I love that segment of these lives because a lot of great questions come out of it. You guys ask a lot of good questions. And if I can't answer it, the good thing is that the live chat is always going, and there's people in there answering questions if they have the answers. So, all right, we got a good enough amount of people in. I've been talking almost 5 minutes now. So let me just jump right into what I have seen. And then we can talk a little bit about what that means. So really, like today, I am in Ghana right now, but because I was planning to go to Sierra Leone, and this week I'll be posting some of the content from my trip to Sierra Leone. This last time I went about a little over 2 months ago, and I'm just now getting around to post that content. I do want to talk about what's going on there and why I might be delaying my next trip. But since I'm going to be talking about the COVID numbers in Sierra Leone, and because I am in Ghana and most of the people who watch these lives are of Ghanaian descent or happen to be in Ghana as well, I'll talk about the Ghana numbers, at least as it pertains to what has been reported to the WHO. So really quickly, let me just share that with you all. And yeah, and you'll be able to see what the numbers are right now, and what that really means. I mean, right now I can't tell you what it means for Ghana, but I can tell you about what it means for Sierra Leone. So real quick, on the screen, I think you guys can all see my screen because I can see it here. The number of cases in total is at 99,160. The number of deaths is 815. I think the more important number is the number of people that have recovered, right? So now what you can see here is it looks like there's about 4,000 that are unaccounted for in terms, which means that they probably are in the middle of COVID symptoms and haven't really fully recovered as of yet, or maybe there's something off with the numbers. But the numbers are really low compared to many other places, especially in terms of the population. I just read somewhere that the population in Accra is, I think it was between 15 and 20 something million people. And so that's just Accra, the capital city, not to mention the country as a whole. I don't know if that number is a accurate number, but even still, it's a very low caseload compared to the total number of people in the country. So that's just what the numbers are here today. Just wanted to share that with you all. If you care, if that matters to you, just wanted you to know. For me, I think it's really important that I stay, because I haven't been vaccinated as of yet. There's a number of different reasons, no conspiracies here. It's just really more about access to vaccines and who I want to administer it and all of those kinds of things. And so for me, I haven't been vaccinated as of yet. So I have to take every precaution possible to make sure that I stay safe. And so I check the numbers to see where they are, and I make sure I follow all of my precautions. I wear an N95 mask. I wash my hands all the time. I leave the house only when necessary. And I try to make sure that I'm around people who are COVID cautious. With that being said, that's the numbers in Ghana. What's really important is to talk about the numbers in Sierra Leone. So now, here are the numbers in Sierra Leone, right? 6,000 cases, 115 deaths, right? This is what's been reported total. As you can see, there's been a spike in July, right? And so, on the 21st, there was 604 confirmed cases at the moment. 214 increased over that last week, right? So you see, sorry, that was June 21st. Sorry, so it was a spike in June. And it actually seems to be going down. But here's the thing that's interesting, right? The Independent is reporting that Indonesia, Myanmar, Cuba, and Sierra Leone was added to the red list for the UK. What this means is those entering the UK from these destinations will now be subject to 11 nights of government-mandated hotel quarantine at the cost of 1,715 euros per solo traveler. That's really important to know because I know a lot of Sierra Leoneans traveling to the UK. I just want to make sure that if you are in Sierra Leone and you're planning on travel to the UK, you definitely want to know this because that is a lot of money out of your pocket, especially if you're going to go for like a week or two, or if you're going back home. So I wanted to put that out there just so that you were clear that is Sierra Leone's now on the red list. And that means that if you're going to Sierra Leone, you're going to have a government mandated quarantine for 11 nights, and it's going to cost you 1,750 euros per solo traveler. Now, these changes went into effect 4 a.m. GMT yesterday on July 19th. And so just wanted to let anybody who's Sierra Leonean planning to travel there know that. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Ms. P says, okay, so only one asked, what have I missed? Just really quickly, just was given an update on the COVID numbers in Ghana and the new COVID numbers in Sierra Leone and what that means for Sierra Leoneans planning to travel. A bunch of other people as well, like Myanmar, Cuba, but specifically Sierra Leone, since that's where I'm planning to travel. And it's delayed my trip back to Sierra Leone. Not to mention the whole house situation has also delayed my trip. So that's really what you missed, is me just talking about that. But 1,750 euros to be able to go to the UK from Sierra Leone. And so Miss P says, yeah, it's crazy. I know, it's nuts. When I read that, I was like, what? What about Accra? Are the only red list? I'm coming out here. Okay, so I don't see anything as of right now for Accra and for Sierra Leone. I don't see any red lists. I don't see anything. I don't see anything there. I just have heard on the radio the other day on the way out back home from the office. The Uber driver was listening to the radio, and they were talking about schools and sending people back home because children in schools are getting infected. So I don't know really what that means as a whole, but as of right now, I don't see any travel restrictions as of yet. Broderick says, crazy. Yeah, it's needed. Yeah, I mean, look, I guess so, right? I mean, it's tough to say because, you're deterring people from coming to your country. That's the UK, for instance. However, I would venture to guess that the largest population that was bringing COVID to West Africa to begin with was from the UK, right? I mean, I know it was also from China as well, but so it's interesting, right, to see that they're putting these costs into play, and I mean, at least allowing people to travel there. But I mean, 1,750 is a pretty substantial amount, especially in euros, because that's closer to like $1,800, right? And that's just way too much for the average person traveling from Sierra Leone. I mean, you're already spending that much on the ticket. You're paying double that for an 11-day mandatory quarantine. So yeah, I can imagine that would be tough for people. Okay, so the other thing I saw is the Center for the travel advisory. I don't know if it's coming from the CDC. Yeah, it is coming from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control in the US. They're saying flat out, do not travel to Sierra Leone due to COVID-19. And then it also says reconsider travel due to crime. Don't even know what that means, due to crime, but because of the number of increased cases as of July 6th, so as of July 6th, it's a level 4 for do not travel. I've known a couple people who have traveled recently to Sierra Leone, but I've been getting these warnings from family members and whatnot saying not to go. I still do need to go sometime soon. Just to shift gears now, as you all know, I've been working on building a house, and the boys' quarters, or the caretaker's quarters, is what's in the middle of being built right now as we speak. I'm happy to report that the contractor that I told you about, who I hadn't been able to get in touch with, has finally got back in touch with me this past weekend. And we discussed everything from what happened. So let me update you guys all on that. Since I've been talking about it every week, it might be good for you guys to all hear about it. So as I mentioned a few weeks back, my contractor in Sierra Leone, the original one, I had to move on from. I had to fire him, move on to another contractor. My second contractor was making good progress, doing good work, and then all of a sudden just went radio silent. I reached out to a cousin of mine, or like a distant cousin who's close to him, and he explained that his father had a hip issue. He's the sole caretaker, so he had to help his father for about a week or so. Through that process, his workers that usually work for him decided to take another job elsewhere and not continue to do the work because they had no work to do. Because he wasn't there, they couldn't move forward. And so it was all at a standstill for about 4 weeks, almost 5 weeks. And then finally last week, he got back to me. He was very apologetic, as everyone is when they mess up that badly. But he did go back to the site, brought sand there, which was needed, and brought some blocks there to do some more building. So we're finally about to restart the build. So what has been done so far is they've actually done the outline of the actual the caretaker's quarters, like where all the bedrooms are going to be. They've delineated and demarcated all the areas. Now they just need to build the walls. And so that's what they consider the foundation, the walls and the roof. So that will be done, hopefully, fingers crossed, within the next 4 to 5 weeks. Once that's done, I will be traveling back to Sierra Leone, and I'll be there to kind of just take a look at it, make sure it's all good, and then get working on the next phase, which will be some of the electrical. I'm going to be doing solar, and I'm doing a combination of solar and power from the main power line as well. I'm going to need to have a generator as well. So I'm going to do all of that. But yeah, so that's the house update so far. This week, I can't, it's hard to share with you the hot water situation, because that's the other thing I've been updating you all on. So as you guys all know too, I've been working on getting my hot water up and going. So I got 3 bedrooms in this apartment, 1 over there and 2 over here. And only one of the hot water heaters works. I'm gonna do a vlog about it later this week where I videotape everything, but that bathroom had a leak. And so the plumber came and he said he fixed it, but then he deconstructed the hot water heater. So even though the leak is fixed, the hot water heater is no longer connected. So don't know why he did that. And of course, he hasn't come back. And then the other hot water heater, when it was hung up, the device that you use is the hook. The screws were too small for the hook, whatever it is, and it fell. So the whole hot water heater fell. Now the plumber is sure that it's going to work. I'm not so sure, but of course he's going to have to pay to replace it if it doesn't, because of course his guy was the one who didn't hang it up properly. Oh, and let me just address something else too. I decided to do a change of location for the lives. Let me know what you guys think of this change in location. This is actually my living room. This is where I do my vlogs. You know, there's a TV over there that I never watch, just sitting there. And then over there is my little couch, which I never sit on because I never watch that TV. But yeah, this is the living room. Technically, I'm on the dining room table facing the living room. And that's the bedroom back there where I usually shoot my stuff from. But I decided to do it out here because there's a little bit better lighting and more space, and I like the acoustics better. Also, I'm closer to the router, so that hopefully that makes sure that the Wi-Fi works better. So anyway, so yeah, I'm out here now doing this. So I did the hot water, did the COVID-19 update. What else can I update you guys on? Oh, another big update, which I'm going to talk about more in the vlog. As you guys also might know, I came here to advise and to eventually invest in startups on the continent of Africa. And as you guys also might know, I had been advising 2 startups prior to coming. And then when I got here, I got with MEST as an advisor, and I got with Founders Institute as a mentor, or switch it around, MEST as a mentor, Founders Institute as an advisor. And with that, I just found out that I am now officially a mentor for Google for startups. Not sure if I mentioned this last week. I don't think I mentioned this on the call last week. If I did, let me know. Let me know if I'm being repetitive. Sometimes I repeat stories. But I'm really excited about that. I mean, Google's a big deal. Actually, I think I might have actually said it last week, now that I think about it. But those of you who weren't on it last week, you can hear about it now. I'm accepted into the Google for Startups accelerator program as a mentor. So I'll be doing some sessions on marketing, branding, building a social media presence, obviously, because that's what I do. And then also even monetizing content. So yes, those are the updates there. Now that I have a few people on, I wanted to ask you guys. So, you know, I've been doing these on Tuesdays. I've been looking at the metrics and also just looking at my time. And oh, thank you for the congrats. I'm really excited about that. I guess maybe I hadn't mentioned this before. Thank you. Google, it's a big deal, right? Google, you know, is a company that I've been watching for a very long time, right? I mean, everybody's familiar with Google. They hire a lot of times the best of the best, and the fact that they've agreed to have me come on board as a mentor for their startups in their accelerator program is really exciting for me. It's a big deal for me because, you know, I had put together a list of companies long before I came to either want to work for or be an advisor or a mentor for their startups. And 3 of the top 5 I'm actually working with. So one was MEST, one was Founders Institute, and at the very top of the list was Google for Startups. And so the fact that I got that, I'm really excited about that. Thanks, Cedric. I appreciate it. So I'm really, really excited about this. I'm going to keep telling you guys about how it goes. I think I have a session coming up this week. So I'll definitely let you know what that looks like and like how it's been going and all of that. And Mr. Reed Entertainment says, peace fam. Thank you for letting us know what's developing presently in Ghana. Can't wait to return work in Ghana in December. Nice. Yeah, definitely. And you know what I'll do is if you guys find it helpful and interesting, I'll definitely mention the numbers and what's going on as it pertains to that and travel restrictions and things like that as I hear about them or as I read about them in the press. And I'll make sure that you guys know, especially those who are planning to travel in December, because I mean, this stuff is going to affect you, especially if you're going to Sierra Leone and traveling back, because in those cases, it might affect you financially as well. So for those of you who are Ghanaian, so far, it doesn't look like there are going to be very many effects, but for my Sierra Leoneans that are watching, and those who might be watching the replay, it'll be good for you guys to know. Celia, thank you. Thank you. Okay, and so Mr. Reed Entertainment says, I plan on doing some work in Liberia and when I visit Ghana. And okay, nice. I haven't been to Liberia as of yet. I hear good things though. Ms. P, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm really excited. I'll keep you guys posted on how it goes. Okay, Sierra Leone will be a follow-up trip. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely recommend going to Sierra Leone, especially for Sierra Leonean descendants. The one thing that I will say is the thing about Sierra Leone that you have to know is the airport is on a peninsula. And why does that matter? Well, because the main city is not, right? And so let's say this is the peninsula and this is the mainland. You have to take a boat across the water, which usually takes about an hour or so. It's about $40. So if you're a person who's afraid of water, then the only other way to do it is to drive around the peninsula back to the mainland. And that can take, I think, 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on who you talk to. Some people say 2 hours. I don't know how you could do it in 2 hours, but it's at least 3 hours. So I would just make sure that you know that before you go. But yes, I would love to see more people making that trip to Sierra Leone for sure. All right, cool. So that's the update there. I did the update on the house. Oh, okay. So question for you all. I've been looking at the metrics and looking at my time. And one of the things that has come up is the day and time I do the lives. So I think I'm going to keep it at 9 p.m. GMT. The one thing that might have to shift is the day. So I'm thinking about doing it on either Monday or Wednesday. So with that, I'd love to get your thoughts as a group. What are your thoughts as a group? Wednesday or Monday? I'm trying to see if there's a way to do a poll on here. It doesn't look like there is. Nope. So I'll just have to do it based on the comments. Any thoughts from the group watching? I think almost everybody is watching right now from YouTube. Yeah. So all the people on YouTube, any thoughts, comments on either Monday or Wednesday? I definitely have to move it from Tuesday. This will probably be the last Tuesday. So it'll either be Monday or Wednesday next week when I do the live. So I know that it takes a little while for the system to share with me what you guys think and your notes. So while I wait for those answers to come back in, I will move on to the next topic. Actually, the next topic was supposed to be any questions for me. Okay, so I got a Monday right now. So Monday is one of the responses so far. You guys let me know what you think, Monday or Wednesday. I hear Monday's a good one. So we're looking at Monday for right now. I'm just making a note the old-fashioned way, pen and paper. So Monday's a good one. Okay, I got another Monday. We got some Mondays coming in. Okay. I'm tallying them up. So let's see what people are saying. I hear Mondays are good. Okay, I got another one that says both are good. That's good. All right, I'll make that note. Keep them coming, guys. Let me know. And then, okay, while you're deciding Monday or Wednesday, are there any questions for me about what's been going on this past week? What it's like living here in Ghana? All right, Miss P, thanks for coming. Have a good night. I always appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, thanks for showing up even though you had to go. I appreciate that. Yeah, so any other questions for me? I think some of the questions that people have asked me in the past were like, what was dating like? I've answered that question. You guys can go back and watch those lives to see what that was like or what dating is like here. People have asked me about being vegan here. I've answered that. Somebody's asked me about neighborhoods. People had asked me about neighborhoods. How did I get my job has been asked before. So the questions really are like across the spectrum. So any questions you guys might have, more than happy to answer. I'm an open book. Another update for you all. So I am in the process of starting a Patreon. For those of you who might not be familiar with what that is, it's kind of a monthly subscription service for anybody who's a content creator. And so I am thinking about also moving the live question and answer sessions to that. And beyond that, I'm also thinking about doing like coaching sessions and answering questions directly for people looking to move to the continent, specifically to Ghana or Sierra Leone, since I have a little bit of a background in what that's like as well. Because I get a lot of questions on that. And so for those of you, by the way, who are watching, who sent me messages on like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, if I haven't gotten back to you, I'm sorry. Right now, I'm the only person who answers all of them. And my Instagram is flooded with messages, so many messages. I can't really get to all of them. And so what I think I'm going to be doing is on Patreon, I'm just going to leave it open every week for people to come and ask me those questions, or people who want to do like live conversations with some of the other members of the group. I'll definitely do that. But for sure, I will be coming up with new content all the time for the Patreon. So it'll be different from what you're getting here, more exclusive content and also more one-on-one interactions as well. So now we got a couple questions coming up. Let's throw them up so we can start addressing them one by one. Okay, so Mommy says, I have a question about banking in Ghana. Do you bank in Ghana or do you still bank in the States? Please tell us a little about the process. So I bank in both places. I also bank in Sierra Leone as well. Actually, let me take that back. I am about to bank in Ghana. I don't currently bank in Ghana. So I am not a citizen here. So I had to get my resident permit and they had to do a background check in order to give me a bank account here. Here's a good story, actually, that might be interesting to you all. So I have zero criminal record in any place that I've ever lived because I don't commit crimes, right? However, GT Bank, I'm gonna call them out. The representatives there did a Google search, right? They Google searched my name and did criminal record, right? There's a website called mylife.com. MyLife.com does this thing with their search engine optimization where underneath the search, you know how it says a little bit about what it says on the website? They word it in a way to make you want to sign up for mylife.com. And so what it says is, if you want to find out if Joannis Atagua has a criminal record, including bankruptcies, crime, blah, 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 then click on this link, right? GT Bank, the representatives at GT Bank read that and thought that that meant I had a criminal record. So after I had a conversation with them, human resources at my company had a conversation with them. I sent them my police clearance that showed I had no criminal record. They still did not give me a bank account. So GT Bank is out of it. I'm not going to have a GT Bank account. I'm looking at banking with another bank. But yes, I am going to bank here. I had to go through the process of getting the resident permit and the non-resident ID or whatever in order to be able to open the account. And so I will be opening an account finally here. But I do believe, because part of the reason why I came here is to start to invest and try to help do what I can to be a part of the economy here. And one of the ways to do that is having a bank account. If you have money in the bank and you're taking money in and out of that bank, you are circulating money in the economy. So that's really important to me. So yes, absolutely, I have a bank account. So beyond all of that, the other part of the process is just filling out bank documentation. They make you fill out a form with your tax identification number or your social security number. If you are from the US or you have US residency, they'll make you do that. One of the recommendations was go to Fidelity Bank. Another one is Echo Bank. I will tell you. Okay, so first of all, let me just say, so is it Ansif? Ansif? Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I really apologize. I hate when people mispronounce my name, so I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Fidelity Bank, they aren't stupid. Yes. Fidelity Bank was on the list of banks. Elizabeth, hi, and also thanks. Elizabeth says Echo Bank. I actually do have an Echo Bank account in Sierra Leone. I've had a couple of challenges with Echo Bank in Sierra Leone. And so for me, I haven't necessarily decided to go Echo Bank here, but they were on my list of banks. So yeah, I actually don't have an Echo Bank account here in Ghana. But yeah, so to answer the initial question though, you have to just fill out some documentation. I think you do need to send them a photocopy of your ID or your passport, I think. But yeah, so that's the process. I'll let you know once I go to another bank because that was the GT Bank process. But of course, I didn't get a bank account with them. All right. So Stephanie Royal says, thank you for posting vlogs on tree words, phrases that we need to know if we're visiting Ghana. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. A lot of people found those helpful. I did two, actually. One did much better than the other one. The second one was like 10 more words. So the first one was like the basic words. The second one was like, I love you, I miss you, things like that. So I added that as well. So if you found the first one helpful, go ahead and watch the second one. I need more views on that to help a brother out. But yeah, so that's definitely one I would recommend checking out, especially if you're planning to come here. I need to rewatch it because my tree is not that good. I'm really having a hard time. I'm struggling, so I do my best, but I need to work on it. So only one says, what is the website I prepay for my PCR test in order to enter Ghana? Is there anything else I may need to have in order to enter? It's a good thing you asked that because I just was looking at this the other day. So the website you need to go is here. I'm going to share my screen with you all. This actually might be helpful to everybody who's planning to travel. Because I think this kind of stuff is just really helpful. So if you're planning to travel, let me go ahead and share my screen. So it's called My Frontier Health, My Frontier Healthcare, if it ever actually loads. So sorry, it's not loading right now, but this is the site you go to. And then there's another site, and it always escapes me. And when you go to the airport, they'll tell you to do it at the airport. Why isn't it working right now? Can you guys hear me, by the way? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, there you go. So it says it right here. See, pay for your COVID-19 test. So you go here, you pay for your test. So upon arrival, you already have paid. You'll have to just show either a piece of paper or on your phone the receipt and they'll allow you to just walk right through to take the test. By the way, I had to take a COVID test before I left the country the last time. I'm going to vlog about that. It's aggressive. It's an aggressive test. I hate to say it, but it just is. Thank you for letting me know. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Thanks, because I wasn't sure. So that's the answer to that question. Hopefully that helps. So it's just myfrontierhealthcare.com is the site that you go to, and that'll take care of getting your test done for COVID. So Antisef said, EchoBank told me that I need a referral in order. Yes. So yes, when you do EchoBank account, so those people who are thinking about going to EchoBank, it is interesting because you do have to have a referral from someone who already has a bank account. They have to write you a letter, or you have to have a referral from someone within the bank saying that you should be able to get a bank account. That's what EchoBank did to me in Sierra Leone. I thought it was a little ridiculous, but luckily my cousin had a bank account, so she wrote the letter on my behalf. And if you want to have a business bank account, which I also did in Sierra Leone, you have to have a person with a business bank account do a letter of referral. So I had to have 2 referral letters to open my personal and my business bank account in Sierra Leone with EchoBank. So that is true. So if you do want to do EchoBank, they do require referral letters. So I may not recommend it because it's a lot to do. Okay. Pro Woman J says, hey Joe, working as a professional in Ghana, Sierra Leone versus America. You're one of the few repat YouTubers who is a professional. Hugs, love you lots. Thank you. Yes, it is difficult, very difficult to do both. Living in the US, I was busy a lot. And living here, I'm busy a lot, but I've also decided to do something that requires consistency, not missing a day, not missing the time. And so that means that I have very little time for a social life. So I spend a lot of time working on YouTube videos, editing and whatnot, coming up with content, shooting the videos, meeting other people in the YouTube world. And I've only just started to generate income from it. And it was 4 months of no income and then 2 months now of very little income, by the way. Now, obviously this is going to be an income stream that can grow, and the work that I've already done is just going to continuously pay me, right? But it is very difficult to do. So I do appreciate that, Pro Women, for giving me the supports. Yeah, appreciate it. Mommy says, thank you, Joe. Follow-up question. How have you been able to access your money from the US on a day-to-day basis while in Ghana? Great question. So you can use an ATM here. It just has the fees that come along with using an ATM, but that works. So you could just use your bank card on any ATM here. They all work, at least from my experience. That's in Ghana. In Sierra Leone, okay, so by the way, in Ghana, they allow you to take out 2,000 Ghana cedis at a time. So you can take a pretty substantial amount. That's a couple $100. Don't get me to doing math in public, but it's a couple $100 at a time. And then you can go back and just take out more money. In Sierra Leone, you could take a maximum of $40 or 400,000 leones at a time. So you can imagine that is very limiting, $40 at a time, especially if you need to take out like $200 or $300. So that's one of the biggest challenges with taking your money out in Sierra Leone. So one thing other people do, especially for large amounts of money, is they send themselves Western Union or World Remit is what I use. So that would be something that I would recommend. If you want to have cash, you could do World Remit or Western Union. Western Union doesn't have as good transfer, and also their conversion rates are not as good. So I recommend World Remit. That's the one I've been using mostly now. So that's what I'd recommend. So that's how I get my money out. Okay, this is from earlier when I wasn't sure if my audio was loud and clear. Thanks everyone for letting me know. Elizabeth says, young man, make sure you take your time and enjoy your life. Yes, Elizabeth, I will. But here's the way I look at it. I do now what others won't, so I can have later what others can't. That is a saying I've been saying for like 15 years. Anybody who knows me, all my friends know that I love to say that saying. And it has paid off in dividends. Somebody said to me the other day that it just seems like everything came so easy for you when you got to Ghana. You got a job, you got an apartment, you got into with MEST and with Founders Institute. And yeah, it that all did come pretty easily. I also have a consulting gig that I have. It did come easily. But the reason why it came easily is because there were 10 years of really dedicated hard work on an almost daily basis to be able to develop the skills, to develop the learning, to build the network, and to gain the confidence that I could to be able to navigate all those worlds, to be able to have all these things come so quickly. And so because I've actually seen the results of all that hard work, it's really hard for me to slow down now, especially because now I have the added benefit of hindsight and to see how it's turned out. I was able to leave my job in January of last year with no job prospects. Now I had a lot of things that I thought I was going to do, and the pandemic really eliminated most of those things, but I was able to walk away with a severance package because of all the skills and the business and that I had brought to that organization. And so it's really hard for me to say that I'm going to slow down. But you, like many other people in my life, do say that I should at least enjoy life a little bit more. So I do from time to time take the opportunity to enjoy myself. It doesn't mean I have zero social life. It is just a very limited one. And I do make sure that I spend a lot more time on income producing activities and things that are going to build for my future. Because, I'm building a house right now. I'm looking to buy more property. And unfortunately, I'm not generating the income I was back in 2019 when I was back in the States. And so it requires me to do more to be able to try to supplement my income and to generate the kind of income that's even close. And by no means is it close. It's very far off from what I was generating back then. But of course, that is all to come. I mean, money is, it comes and goes, whatever. I'm not, it's really more about the impact I can have on it, what I'm doing with it. That's really what's important. And so I just need to make sure that I do the things that I can to help generate that income. But I will take that in consideration. I will make sure to stop and smell the roses from time to time and make sure that I do have a good time. So use SendWave. You have to download it in the US before you get to Ghana. So this is for sending money. This is, so thank you for that. So for whoever asked the question, this is a recommendation. SendWave is an app that you can use. This is recommended by Ansif. You're gonna have to tell me phonetically how to pronounce your name. All right, cool. So Stephanie says, I shared both vlogs with my sister. We are visiting in Ghana in August, and we'll be spending 12 days in Accra and Elamina. Okay, we are planning to move 2 years when you retire. Nice. Elamina is great. Obviously you go to Elamina Castle and go to Cape Coast. Very powerful if you haven't been already. I definitely learned a lot in both of my trips. I've been to Cape Coast Castle twice, St. George once, or Elamina once. Really, really, really powerful trip. So I would definitely recommend going for sure. And thank you for sharing my vlogs. I do at the end of every video say, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I really do appreciate you, Stephanie, for sharing it with not only your friend, but your sister. So I appreciate that. How about editing and helping other newbie YouTube content creators? Yes, so I would edit for other people if I could edit for other people. So here's an interesting fact. I don't edit most of my videos that I post on YouTube. I edit some of them, but I actually outsource that editing to a third party. A friend of mine and I split that cost. It is quite expensive. And so we actually outsource that cost. And so her and I share that. She's another content creator in the States. And so her and I outsource that cost. It is not cheap, but they are really good. The company is called B Creatives. Free plug for B Creatives. I've been plugging you guys to everybody I know, so it's good. And I'm also working to get another editor to help. So unfortunately, editing is out of the question. But I do plan on doing consulting. So people have questions for me about how to build their channel and what I did to be able to get to monetization so quickly. I did it in 4 months. I think I mentioned that before. And I've known other people who were on YouTube for 2 years plus before they finally hit monetization. So I have a lot of tricks and tips that I could share, which I would definitely do for someone who is willing to pay. So here was a question. So from Ant, let me just call you Ant, if that's okay. I'm sorry, Ant. I really hate when people mess up my name. So I'll just say Ant. So what am I building? Where am I building? And is it expensive? So I am building in Sierra Leone. And is it expensive? No, not compared to what it is in the US, right? To build the equivalent would probably be in any major city, anywhere between, I'd say $500,000 and maybe $1 million, depending on what city, where you're buying land, et cetera, et cetera. I think what I've been quoted is that it might cost, all said and done, around 75, 80,000. We'll see. Most people who work on their houses just put money in over time and don't really look at the total amount. I am not that person. I look at everything. I can say so far, buying the land, tearing down the boros or the board house that was there, building the Pambodi, which is the caretaker's temporary quarters and also a storage unit, excavating the land and doing the foundation so far in total has cost about $20,000 so far. That's not to mention, was it 25,000? 25,000 so far. So since January of 2020, was it January of 2019? January of 2019 is when I purchased the land, or when we purchased the land. So January of 2019. So it's been 25,000 since January of 2019. Obviously, all of 2020 was a wash because of the pandemic, so I couldn't get much done then. So I'm expecting to spend upwards of about 75, 80, maybe $100,000 on the house when it's all said and done. I'm gonna probably do it in parts. I'm doing the caretaker's quarters first, somewhere that I could just stay myself. It'll be very nice and decked out. Then I would do the first floor of the main house second. And then from there, we'll be doing construction on the next 2 floors, plus the rooftop deck with a bar and everything else. That'll all be done over time. So I'm gonna be doing it in phases. But the longer I wait, the more expensive it will be. As the days go on, the cost of materials goes up. And cost of labor and everything else goes up. Just inflation in Sierra Leone moves at a rapid pace. I don't know why, but it just is. And so, yeah, so that is what I can say so far about how much it costs and what it might potentially cost me when it's all said and done. All right. Okay, Power Woman J's changed her name. Michelle Joyner. What's up, Michelle? So Pro Woman, I kept calling her Power Woman, but it's Pro Woman. Michelle. So Michelle says, follow up on working professional. Thoughts on an African professional co-workers? Are you management, cultural differences in the workplace? So, okay. So thoughts on African professional co-workers. Here's what I can say. My Kenyan and Nigerian counterparts have been very, very, very quick and focused and like boom, 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 right? Let me first say all of my coworkers are very professional and smart speak better English than I do, which is kind of embarrassing sometimes when I hear phrases and words that they use in meetings. And I'm like, I'm a 15-year career professional with my American education, which leads to very poor, I would say, very poor command of the English language. I hear some people say things in meetings, and I'm like, man, well said, well put. However, in Ghana, I've noticed that some of the folks here, some, not all, can be a little bit more laxed, right? It's a little bit more chill in Ghana. So I've noticed that sometimes my coworkers here in the Ghana office can be a little bit more relaxed and chill. So sometimes if you ask for something to be done on Wednesday, it may get done Friday, things like that. But at the end of the day, very, very smart. So it's more of a cultural thing. You got that GMT, Ghana Man time here. So things move at a Ghana Man time speed, Ghana Man time. So it happens as it happens. But like I said, very capable, professional, smart people that I work with. So and they're all African, which is great. You know, I'm no longer the minority in my workplace, which I mentioned on plenty of lives before, but it's really hard to describe how good that feels to just walk into an office and everybody looks like me. Not everyone looks like me, but everyone is a person of color, which I just don't have or I didn't have previously. So I really love that. And my management. So technically I am, but I don't have anyone who's currently reporting to me directly at this point in time. I'm an individual contributor at this point in time, but we're looking to potentially onboard a couple of people to report to me. So the cultural differences between the U.S. and here, you know, it's hard to say because since I last went into the office, it was prior to a global pandemic, and so it's really hard for me to say some of the cultural differences in terms of, you know, because people are just different now. People are handling things and moving differently. But I would say in the US, I had to deal with microaggressions a lot. And so those of you who are African may not have heard of microaggressions because you don't deal with them very often. And so I would deal with things like when I had locks, people saying to me, you know, why don't you cut your hair? You look more professional. Or people wanted to touch my hair. Or people asking me all kinds of questions about, you know, how long does it take to get done? How often do you get it done? Just a lot of questions, which I understand you're curious. It is what it is. But people telling me to cut it to make me look more professional, you know, that's the kind of stuff like I just don't get here. You know what I mean? Like, so that's probably one of the major cultural differences is I'm not dealing with people who are unaware culturally of who I am. You know, like, you know, it's just that just doesn't happen. So I'd say that's probably one of the major differences is I don't have to deal with people's biases to my culture, skin color, or ignorance to those two things. So that's probably the major difference. Great question. Okay, so it looks like it's a whole nother account. Follow up on working professional. Okay, that's okay. So that was the same question. Okay, I see. Oh, one was on Facebook, one was on. I see. Got it. Stephanie says, my sister and I will definitely come to you to help us build the YouTube channel. I believe in recirculating my USD with my brothers and sisters in Africa and America. Happy to help for sure. I have to figure. I'm putting together the consulting front end so people can sign up for like consulting time, like an hour or 30 minutes, stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing that. Oh, Ann said that's a mansion. Well done. Yeah, it'll be a pretty big house. Yeah, it's gonna be quite the house. So let me just go into that really quickly so you guys know. And I wish I would have had it pulled up so I could show with you the blueprint. But basically, it's going to be 3 stories, 3 separate units. The ground floor unit is where my mother's gonna live, and that's actually going to be it's going to be connected by like a covering with the caretaker's quarters, because by the time she gets here, sometime next year or maybe sooner, we'll see. she will probably need some help just with cooking and laundry and all of that stuff. And so so her house is going to be the first floor. The second floor I plan to rent out to an NGO. I know a couple of NGOs or people who work at NGOs there in Sierra Leone. So, and they pay a year up front, sometimes 2 years up front. So I'll be renting that out to an NGO. And then the third floor, the penthouse, will be my unit. And that's the only unit that has access to the top floor, so the rooftop. And so what I'll do there is I'll be able to entertain guests. I'll have a bar up there, its own separate toilet, so that when I'm entertaining people upstairs, they don't have to go into my apartment to use the restroom. They'll be able to use one on the rooftop. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about that. This is probably going to be a 2-year, maybe 3-year process. I just want to get the caretaker's quarters, or what we call the boys' quarters, done this year first, then start working on that first floor. And then hopefully by end of next year, the first floor will be done. And I can start working on the following 2 floors after that. All right, cool. So Derek asks, what's your experience of the GH property market in your short time there? Would you recommend buying? Okay, so my experience so far has only been renting. I know people who do own land here, and they always recommend buying because Ghana is on the upswing. So no matter when you buy, tomorrow or next week, it'll always be cheaper at that point in time than the following few months or years. So you should definitely buy because it's all on the upswing. And neighborhoods are popping up everywhere. So I would definitely say if you can buy in Ghana, you should buy for sure. Now, gated communities or building. Now that depends on your personal preference, right? So like if you do a gated community, you'll likely have like a cookie cutter house based on all the other houses. So you won't be able to choose how your house looks. That's generally how those gated communities work. However, security is already in place. So, part of your fees or whatever will probably go into security, making sure the place is secure. There are more houses in the community. So if there is ever like someone planning to commit some kind of a crime, you're less likely to be targeted because there's so many houses that they could try to go to. So, excuse me, that would be one thing that I would say. However, if you want to have your own house the way you want it to look the way you want it to, and you want to have all your own, your own fixtures and everything the way you want it, then you want to build on your own. But then, of course, you have to pay your own security person. Obviously, everything is up to you, right? So I think you'd have to weigh the pros and the cons for that. So that would be what I would say. Hope that answers your question. So Hella asks, what food advice will you give to a vegan visiting Accra for the first time? I like that question, being as though I'm a vegan. So mahogany, number 1. Also, there's a company called Devour who you order on Sunday, they deliver on Wednesday. So if you want like good vegan food, you can do that. And it depends on how strict of a vegan you are. So, there are a few restaurants that you can go to, a few places that you can go to that can get like kind of vegan friendly. They're mostly like vegetarian friendly. They're not really vegan friendly. So sometimes they'll have bread in their meals and things like that. But you can order food that is vegan. It's just hard, right? Like if you order mashed potatoes, they'll likely put butter in it. So then you can't really do mashed potatoes, but maybe you can do sauteed veggies. You just want to ask them, do you guys use butter when you do your sauteed veggies? If you don't, okay. Or with your mashed potatoes, do you use butter? If not, then okay. So I usually eat mostly starters because those are the things that don't require much changing. So I usually do boiled plantains when I go out, plain jollof rice, sauteed or steamed vegetables, and then sometimes some kind of potatoes or something. Or sometimes French fries if you have to. And then when I'm in Sierra Leone, I'm a little bit more limited. So it's mostly Lebanese bread and hummus. There's a lot of that, and like vegetable spring rolls, a lot of that in Sierra Leone. That's mostly what I eat. Um, when I'm going out to different places, it's really hard to find vegan friendly items. And so, so that would be what I say if you're visiting Ghana for the first time. Mahogany is the name of the restaurant, and Devour is the company that you can reach out to. The woman has a WhatsApp number. She has a home kitchen. She makes very, very good vegan food. Like she makes vegan pizza. She makes, you know what? Now that I think about it, I definitely have to order for next week because I missed out on my window for this week. But she has vegan pizza. She has like vegan chicken nuggets, vegan dumplings, like everything. It's all really, really good stuff. So yeah, I definitely would recommend Devour. And yeah, you know what? When this live is over, go to the replay of the video and drop me a comment and remind me, and then I will put all that information there. I'm gonna have to look it up, and then I'll be able to put it in the comments or the description of this video. But just remind me by dropping me a comment once this is over in the replay comments. Just drop me one there, and I'll remember to do that. Okay, so Michelle says, there's the Crown Act here in the US. Black women are trying to get legislation passed to prevent natural black hair discrimination in the workplace. Oh, so let's going back to the workplace stuff. Yeah, that's very interesting, because, luckily my resume had spoken for itself, and I would go above and beyond the things necessary to be able to get hired. And so I was able to get into the roles that I got into because of the things that I had to do to get into those jobs, right? Like I didn't have a friend that worked there, so I'd have to do things like send an email to 4 different people within the organization, and they would email the hiring manager because I put together a dope email, had my resume attached, I bypassed the process of going like submitting your resume because my name is Joannis Hatagwa, first of all. So, and so that I don't even know if there's going to be any bias there. You don't know, but I can tell you so many times I submitted my resume through normal resume submission things and it never worked out. So what I did, especially at Hulu, was I emailed people directly. And so that was how I got directly to the hiring manager. And with that, I ended up coming in for an interview. And luckily, I wasn't discriminated against because of it. However, different people that I worked with would tell me that I should cut my hair because it's more professional. I look more professional if I did. Or after I cut it, then a lot more people said, oh, you look so much more professional now, right? And then in the job before that last job that I had, my boss actually told me I should cut my hair. Like he was telling me you should cut your hair. If you don't cut your hair, it's going to prevent you from career growth. He was wrong, but that's what he said. So I like that this act is out there and they're trying to get the legislation passed. I hope it gets passed. I think it's ridiculous that people get discriminated against because of their hair. So yeah, I hope that it does get passed. So Candace asks, when is the best time to go to Accra? So depends on what you're looking for. So if you want to come during a time that's not very busy and don't want to contend with traffic too much, like right now, there's a lot of people doing vacations right now out of Accra or whatever. If you want to come when there's a lot going on, then you want to come in December. December is where it's at, all the expats, repats coming back to visit, people who are of Ghanaian descent coming to visit. So I would definitely say end of year December if you're looking for like when it's the busiest and there's a lot going on. That would be what I recommend for sure. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Only one says, do you recommend buying land in Ghana or just holding on to it for a while until a company comes around wanting to buy? Oh, okay. Do you mean buying land and building on it or just holding on to the land and reselling it? I mean, it depends on what you want to do. See, so for me, the way I look at things is real estate it can be something for residual income and a big payday. Here's what I mean by that. So residual income means you're getting paid while you sleep. You get paid for the work you did once, and you continuously get paid, right? Which is why I'm working on real estate. Why that is if you buy a house and you rent it out, you're continuously getting paid for the work you did one time. You can also decide 5-10 years down the line that you want to sell the house. So you've been making money all that time, and then you can get a big payday. So it takes more of a investment to begin with, right? Because you have to put money into building the house. So there's more of a risk and more of an investment out of pocket. But I think it's worth it because you're continuously getting paid every month, or I guess in Ghana it's every year because people pay yearly rent up front for a year. Or if you could do 6 months, if you want to differentiate yourself from other people, 6 months, every 6 months, every year, every 2 years, whatever. But people are used to paying a year up front. So every year you're getting paid. So my recommendation is to buy, build, rent, and then further down the line, maybe sell, maybe. So that's my recommendation there. And Pro Woman had an answer for Candace. All right, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? Gotta love the Wi-Fi here. So Pro Woman makes a recommendation that December is a good time to come. There is a buzz right now. Ghana does a great job of marketing itself to the diaspora in the world for sure. Can you guys hear me? Just make sure you can hear me. Or make sure to let me know if you can hear me. I hope that you guys can hear me and that you guys are all still there. I lost my connection. Okay, good. You can hear me loud and clear. All right, great. All right. So as I do every time we reach this point, we are at an hour and 7 minutes to be exact. Any final questions from me before I draw this to a close? Thanks to everybody for joining so far. I really appreciate you all joining. So recap really quickly. Google. I'm a Google mentor now for Google's accelerator program called Google for Startups here in Africa. I forgot to mention, most of the startups are based in Nigeria. So that's great because it'll give me the opportunity to begin the process of ingratiating myself with the Nigerian startup community. I've been doing that a little bit here in Ghana. So it's going to be broadening my reach and bringing me one step closer to the next phase of my career. So I'm really excited about that. If you guys know anybody out there who is an investor in startups, let me know. I'd love to meet them, talk to them about the startups that I'm familiar with and who I'm talking to and who I'm mentoring, because that's the world I'm looking to get into. So if you guys know anybody who's looking to find some investments on the continent, definitely put them in touch with me. All right, any other questions from the group? We had some really great questions so far. Let me look back to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see, I answered those questions about food, work and professional questions, some suggestions for how to generate some income here. All good stuff, guys. This has been a really good live, I think. Really good questions. Hope you guys all found it helpful. Okay, now that we have a larger group. All right, so I was asking, I'm planning to move the live. It's either going to be Monday or Wednesday. So I want you guys to answer, if you haven't already, which would you prefer to see, Monday or Wednesday? So Pro Woman said, looking to make a small investment, 1 to 5K. Okay, I actually know a couple of companies. I know a company in Sierra Leone right now that's looking for an investment. So shoot me an email to my email address on the About Me section of my YouTube and just mention that. I can definitely put you in touch with the guy. It's a fish company. It's actually really good. I've watched them grow. I'm actually about to invest in it myself. But I was going to do a partial investment, so I am looking for other people to come in on this. So we should definitely talk. So send me a message. I'll be more than happy to connect you with him and have you talk to him and feel and let me know what you think. So I got another couple. Okay, thank you. So I got another Monday. Just another Monday. All right. So so Odie, by the way, thank you for that. Ant says Monday and Wednesday. I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do 2 days a week. It's already a struggle to get 1 day a week in here. But I will see what I can do. I know that Wode Maya is somebody I've been following for a little bit now. I got another Monday. Wow. Okay. So overwhelmingly, the numbers are Monday. The only Wednesdays that came up was people saying Monday and Wednesday. So it looks like I'll be moving these to Mondays. But that means I'm expecting you guys all to show up. All right. Because if I move it to Monday, I want you guys all to be there. And hopefully more people can show up as well. I noticed that from my metrics, more people are watching content and my content on Mondays and Wednesdays than they are on Tuesdays. And so this seems like it speaks to that as well. Another Monday recap of the previous week. So, Odie, yes. So just so you know, I do some of that on these earlier on in the lives. I do a recap of the previous week, and I actually have a weekly vlog now that I put out on, well, it was Thursdays. It'll likely be Wednesdays now, or maybe Friday. We'll see. But I do a vlog that I put out, and in that vlog, I do discuss what happened the previous week. So it's everything that just happened that last week all goes in that vlog. So you guys are going to hear more about the Google startups, like what that looks like, what the program is like, all of that, whatever I can share. You guys are going to hear more about the hot water and actually see what progress has been made. I laugh because you'll see. And then there was another update from last week that I can't even remember, but it will be in tomorrow or Thursday's vlog. But yeah, I'm definitely putting out a weekly vlog. Cool. All right. Now this is a shorter live than the other lives so far. Okay, here we go. So Pro Woman. It's just that the live comes on at 4:30 here in Chicago. Usually I can watch, but not always. We'll catch the replay. Definitely, I appreciate it, Pro Women. I appreciate, or Michelle, now that I know you're Michelle. Thanks, Michelle, definitely for joining from Chicago, Chi-Town. You know, I've never been to Chicago. I mean, I've been to O'Hare for layovers like 4 or 5 times in my life, but I've actually never stepped foot outside of Chicago O'Hare Airport. So I've never been to Chicago. It's on my list of places to go, but now that I'm all the way here in Ghana, I don't know when next I can get a chance to do that. But for sure, I totally get it. Yeah, so here's the deal, right? The reason why it is at the time that it is, so it's 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, of course, as you mentioned. And then 2 p.m. Pacific time is because it's 9 p.m. GMT here. And so I can't go on live much later than that because I have a heavy workload. And so the next day I'm in the office and I'm up at 6 a.m. every morning. So please forgive the phone call. So that's the reason why it is at the time that it is. But I will do my best to ask for alternate times to see if I can start later if possible. I thought somebody was trying to give me a message about the live, but it looks like it's still working just fine. Only one. I've been faithful 3 weeks in a row. By the way, I'll be in Ghana next week for 2 months. My plan is to slowly travel around the country. Awesome. And yes, only one. I have seen you every week, and I really, really do appreciate that. I really appreciate all of you guys. You know, I may not say it enough, but I do not take it for granted that you all have been joining me and supporting me in this journey. Without you, I wouldn't have hit monetization in 4 months, which is crazy to think. 4 months to monetization, even though it's not much money. It is, that is helping me be able to sustain myself while I'm here, because I've taken a huge pay cut. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it is huge. And I took on a consulting gig too, which is also still less than what I had been generating income wise. So all of this is helping. So I really, really appreciate it. Ant is Chi-Town too. What's up to my Chi-Town people? The Midwest is in the building. Thanks for stopping by. I had a friend who went to Columbia College. Is it Columbia College, the same college that the controversial Kanye went to in Chicago? So I have some ties there. I have a cousin that lives in Chicago too. So shout out to Chi-Town for sure. Opoku, I appreciate it. Or is it Alfred? Is Alfred your first name? I'm guessing Alfred's maybe your first name. Thanks for watching live. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys watching live, so thanks. We got, Stephanie's from Seattle. Shout out to Seattle. I'm going to start asking people where they're from. That's what I'm going to start doing on each live, because I like this. So Seattle, I've been to Seattle a few times. I actually co-own a property in the Seattle area. So shout out to Seattle. I like it out there. Went to the original Starbucks, did the whole thing. I really like Washington State. Beautiful state, especially over the summer when it's a little warmer. I'm not a really big fan of the cold or when it rains a lot, but I like it. Pro Women or Michelle says, you got to come to Chicago. We have the United States' largest African Arts Festival, the African Festival of Arts over Labor Day weekend. Okay, 2022. All right, I might be able to do that. I mean, if I'm gonna go to Chicago, it's definitely gonna be in the summertime, because I know how cold it can get. So I like the idea of coming during Labor Day. That's cool. Stephanie says, really appreciate you too. We should help as many Black YouTubers as we can. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, look, it's helping you take your life into your own hands, right? To becoming an entrepreneur, creating content and adding value to the marketplace and to other people. I think it's really important to do that. And I think having a YouTube channel does that. The only thing I would say is, the thing that I fear the most is not putting all your eggs in the YouTube basket. Because although I do think YouTube is going to be around for a long time and I don't expect it to go anywhere, they can make changes to their algorithm. They can do all kinds of different things. And you can lose that income stream almost immediately. So I would definitely say what I recommend you do is to diversify. So if you're doing a YouTube, you should probably also do a podcast, which, by the way, I plan to do. So I actually will be doing a podcast as well. I'm actually going to turn these lives into podcasts. I realize that there's so much value to people because it's such great questions. And so, my Ask Me Anything segment or whatever different podcasts will be coming out. So the podcasts are coming. I have a partner in Kenya who is working on putting everything together. And so I expect that over the next month or so, you'll start hearing me plug the podcast as well. Stephanie is originally from Harlem. I was born in Harlem Hospital. Shout out to Harlem Hospital. It was a different place back then, though. 1984. Yes, I said 1984. Yeah, when I was born, it was pretty crazy. My mom always tells me how wild it was at Harlem Hospital back then in the 80s. But yeah, so I was born in Harlem Hospital. So, and I lived in Harlem as well. I lived on 112th and Madison in the projects, actually, for 8 months, not for a long time, but for 8 months as an adult. When I moved back to New York, I lived in my aunt's apartment on 112th and Madison in the projects. And man, was that an interesting experience. That humbled me a lot, for sure. I used to visit her there all the time, but when you live there and you have to come home there every day, it's a different thing, for sure. But I think so many life lessons were learned there. I actually was a witness to a shooting randomly I didn't actually see the shooting, but I saw the direct aftermath, which is the wildest thing ever. Like to look out the window and I couldn't, it was so far away, I couldn't make out the guy. Well, I couldn't even tell it was a guy or girl. I couldn't make out their face. All I could hear, the person who got shot was calling 911. It was the craziest thing ever. But yeah, I had heard gunshots before, but to see the aftermath of that happened while I was living in the project. So yeah, projects in Harlem. All right. So another question. Pro Woman says, just wondering if they're over the situation of African repat content creation. Oh, oversaturation. Sorry, I have a reading disability, so sometimes when I read out loud, I skip words or miss words. Okay, just wondering if there's this oversaturation of African repat content creators. We need some kind of coordination so everyone can eat from the YouTube pie. I don't think there's an oversaturation just because there's 2 billion people watching YouTube videos. And so there is a possibility, there are a lot of people doing it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when I decided to do it, there were already a lot of people doing it. There's a lot of like people saying I'm the Nigerian in Ghana and doing that format. I actually have a friend that does it. She's done a live with me. I have another friend who's a Ghanaian here doing it. She's a repat. And then I'm doing it too. And I know so many other people. But I don't think that, I think because when people watch you, they're watching you, right? They come to see you and your content. Now my lives have been steady around the same number of people that are coming to watch my lives. But my channel is still growing, even though there are other people that are doing similar style content. And I would imagine it's because you all like to see the content from me, right? So I don't believe in the idea of saturation. I think the pie is big enough for all of us to eat, and so I don't think that isn't a real issue. It's just a matter of making sure that you bring your own unique perspective and just do something different. Bring your own personality to it, and for sure you'll be able to set yourself apart from other people. You might want to actually see what other people are doing to make sure that you don't do the exact same thing. Or if you are, you can do your own spin. I was told a long time ago, in school, copying is cheating. In business, copying is masterminding. So, I would say don't exactly copy what somebody does, but if they have a video with a ton of views on a piece of content, you might want to choose something similar. Me, I go the opposite route. I choose something that I've never seen anybody do. So that I can try to corner that particular market. So I got plenty of content coming that you guys will see. I got content on dating that's coming, which I think is a very unique perspective coming from my perspective, being of Sierra Leonean descent, having gone to Sierra Leone a bunch of times before I moved to the continent, lived in New York, LA, and in Florida for at least a year. I lived in Vermont actually for 6 months too, but that doesn't count. 3 months, but that doesn't count. But in Pennsylvania for a significant amount of time, but I was as a child up until about 18 years old, so that doesn't really count. But I've lived in a lot of different places, so I definitely have a unique perspective. And so I just bring my unique perspective to these different things. And so I feel like there is no saturation. So I wouldn't worry about saturation. Just do your thing and you will be just fine for sure. You have brownstones on 135th and 137th Street. Oh, you had brownstones. Wow, you had brownstones in Harlem. Wow, nice. I wish I had a brownstone in Harlem, man. So yeah, I lived on 112th. I lived on 112th in 2003. 2003, I lived on 112th from June through December or through January of 2004. Yeah, so I guess that's like 7 months, not 8 months. So yeah. All right, cool. So we're now at an hour and 24 minutes, right around the average that we usually do. Okay. Any other last minute questions from anybody? It looks like a few people are dropping off. Happy to answer any more. Excuse me. Happy to answer any more questions for anybody as they come up, should they come up. Don't forget to write a comment in the replay. If you ask me any questions today about the vegan food and about anything else that I may have forgotten, drop a comment in the replay. Unfortunately, the live comments don't stay after the replay goes live, so you'll need to comment on the replay and just to remind me to get back to you on any of your questions that you might have had. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna have to call it if there aren't any more questions. I'm gonna give like another 30 seconds for any more questions if there are any. If not, then we'll call it for the night. But yeah, once again, man, I really do appreciate each and every one of you for coming on the live. Everyone who asked questions, appreciate all of you. Make sure if you don't already, you follow my Instagram account. I'm gonna share with you what that is right now, so you guys can check it out. This Instagram account is me. I'm gonna put it in here too. I put it in the comments. So you guys, wherever you're watching this from, check it out. Follow my Instagram page. I haven't been doing as much promotion of my YouTube channel on Instagram as I should be. It has been a bit of a challenge, to say the least, to just keep up with all the platforms. I manage all of my YouTube. I have a social media manager in Nigeria who manages the comments on Instagram. She really gets it. So, she's been great at communicating with everyone wherever I can't. And then wherever there's something that I should definitely be responding to, I do. But yeah, so looks like a few people dropped off and there are no more questions. So thanks everybody once again for joining. If you like this content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out. Comment, and share it with your friends, or share it with anybody who's thinking about moving to the continent or to Ghana in general, or to Ghana and to the continent in general. All right, that's it, guys. See you all on the next video.